Hello, freedom seekers, and welcome to Escape the Hive, the podcast that's all about living outside the matrix, breaking free from the norm, and creating a life of your dreams. I'm your host, Casey Franchini with Brick by Brick Wealth. And together, we're going to explore how you can break the hive and redefine what it means to truly live. I am so excited to have you guys here today on my very first podcast episode. You must know I'm extremely nervous and probably recorded the intro about 100 times. So let's just dive in and get into this story that I know I've told a million times, and I'm hoping that if you've heard it before, maybe you'll pick up on something new this time. So my story starts all the way back from college. I was on the 5-year plan and graduated college in 2005, and I got my first big girl full-time job. It lasted all of 3 months. Thank goodness, but I would drive an hour and a half to work. I would wake up in the dark, I would drive an hour and a half to work, and then I would leave when it got dark, drive an hour and a half home, crying on the way home, just super sad that I thought this is what life was. I went to school all these years so I could go to work and be gone basically 12 hours a day. I thought that there's no way that this could be what life was really about. So the owner of the company, funny enough, had some personal issues, and the company got shut down. It was kind of cool. FBI came, seized the assets and all that. So personal things, nothing company related. But it gave me the thought that maybe this 9 to 5, 8 to 5 life, working for, quote, the man, was really not for me. Now, my dad all along, all growing up, was an entrepreneur. He never made it 100% in his entrepreneurial journey like he really wanted to, but he would always push on me, Casey, you know, you can make whatever you want in your life happen. He would show me the freeways. We'd be driving away, and he was driving around, and he would say, do you see all those cars backed up in the, like a parking lot on the freeway? And I'd be like, yes, nobody wants to be driving towards LA every morning. You'll be sitting in traffic for 3 hours. And he said, see the other direction? See how there's so few cars and the freeway is just free flowing? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's the direction that you need to go. And he would tell me that all the time. And that finally clicked when I got let go of my job, FBI raid. So I thought to myself, all right, Casey, you got to go against the grain. You got to go do something different. You have to escape the hive. Doing this mentality of the struggle and the grind and working so hard to achieve what? To work more, to live on the weekends, to enjoy 2 days a week when you're not even enjoying it because you're so, you're so overwhelmed with the everyday tasks of just having to clean your home, and there's no time to unwind. There's no time to relax. So I thought, okay, Casey, this is a sign from God that you are not to be working this 9 to 5 life. So what is it that you truly love? What is your passion? And what came to me, obviously, was real estate. I was in my early 20s, but I loved houses. And my dad always said, find your passion and do what you love and the money will come. It's like, well, I love houses. I love looking at houses. I love going to open houses. I lived in Southern California at the time, and I would drive 35 to 45 minutes, an hour sometimes out of my way to go tour all the new model homes in, Temecula and the Inland Empire and out, there wasn't really much out towards LA. It was all the way down to San Diego from the Inland Empire. And I would look at all the brand new builds. I loved houses, loved them. I would see all the open houses. My parents would never want to stop and see open houses. But when I saw a sign, I go, pull over, let me just jump in and run in. So I decided I was going to make real estate my thing, and by golly, I was going to be a real estate agent. So I got my real estate license in 2007, and I got my broker license because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to open my own brokerage one day, and so I took the extra steps to get my broker license. I looked really young at the time, you guys, and I had a really hard time getting $1 million listings. So living in Orange County, Inland Empire area, I was living in Orange County now at the time with my husband, North Orange County. Home prices were $800,000 and up, and I was in my early 20s, but I looked like I was 16. And so it was really difficult for me to get listings, to get $1 million listings from a 60-year-old homeowner. They just didn't want someone who looked like a teenager to list their home. So I had a difficult time getting listings. I got some, but it was difficult. It definitely wasn't something I was going to be able to make a career on unless I changed some things. But I did find my niche with real estate investors. I had a coworker at my real estate office, and he would help investors find flips. So I started working with him, going to some open houses of his, and started getting my own investor clients. And before you knew it, I was driving all around town, all the way to the beach, to the desert, to Los Angeles, and I would find investors' flips. I didn't know it at the time, but I was just enthralled with how much money these people must have had to be able to flip million-dollar houses. I didn't understand creative financing back then, but I knew that real estate was something powerful, and I would see this young, 32-year-old man with his family living in a $1 million house in Orange County, and I would just come to his house and he would just willy-nilly sign an agreement to buy a property he's never seen based upon my recommendation. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's gonna flip this $1 million house with probably several $100,000 more. That's a lot to have in cash. I've learned since then, it's not quite like that, but I didn't at the time. So fast forward a couple years, and I'm telling my husband, Blake, we have to invest in rental properties. We have to do this. Look at this guy. He's early 30s, living his dreams. I mean, he's got an amazing house with a beautiful wife and cute little kids. They're all working from home, and they're doing it through real estate. And I didn't want to flip. I will tell you one thing that's kind of funny. I was a cocktail waitress. I worked at a bar, and I was also a server, in college. And me and my dad wanted to flip a house. And this was at the time that there was stated income. If you guys don't know what stated income is when you just state how much money you make, and then they will just go give you a loan for whatever that qualifies for. So I was a server, server and cocktail waitress, and I said I made something like $100,000, whatever I needed to get to qualify for this $700,000 house. They gave me the loan, you guys, off of stated income, and I didn't really make that much money. And my dad and I got in contract on this Orange County house to flip. It didn't end up going through, and I'm really glad. It had roof issues, and so we ended up not buying it. We backed out during the inspection period. So it was at that time I was like, I want to do real estate, but I don't think I want to flip. I think I want something a little bit more safer, something a little bit that I know, that something less risky. So my husband and I decided we wanted to start investing in rental properties. We did all the research, and we knew that investing in rental properties was the way that we could escape the hive. That was our ticket to freedom. We knew that there's no way we could ever save our way to retirement. We knew we wanted to have extra income. We knew that we wanted to retire early and not work forever. My husband's dad retired at 40, and I wanted that for him. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom too. I wanted to have the freedom and flexibility to kind of make money how I wanted, like my dad taught me, with the entrepreneurial mindset. So I knew I needed more money. We needed extra income. We needed security and safety. And how could we get that? How could we get our money to work for us? Well, it was rental properties. That was a ticket. But at the time, I didn't quite know how powerful investing in real estate was. So I did my research. We started making offers on properties that were anywhere from like $145,000 to $175,000. And this was in Fontana, California. If any of you guys are familiar with Southern California, this is in Fontana. And we were probably in contract on, I know we were in contract on about 40 different properties. I know this because, several years later, I found a box of all the offers, and I was just going through them and looking at all of the addresses, looking them up online, and was just stunned at how much equity I would have had if I would have bought one. But we didn't. We didn't buy one. Something kept holding us back. We would be in contract, we would back out. We'd be in the inspection period, we'd back out. We'd be in counter, but we wouldn't counter enough to get the deal closed. Something was holding us back from closing on a deal. And I tell you, we made about 40 plus offers, didn't stick with one. Looking back, when I found that box of offers and I was going through the contracts, looking the prices up online, those houses that were $145,000 were now $600,000 and $650,000. And, everyone says, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wish I woulda and I coulda and I shoulda, but then I would be in a much different place had I started when I was trying to start. So we moved to Tennessee, 2013. We moved here. My husband got a job opportunity doing something he was not qualified to do. And so it was a risk and it was an opportunity of a lifetime for him to change his career, his trajectory of his job. So we moved to Tennessee, and we moved with my newborn son, Jace. He was 3 weeks old to the day. my 2-year-old, and our cat. We knew nobody. We had no friends. And the one friend that we did know that got us the job here ditched us and went back to California 6 months later. So we were all alone. And, going through the postpartum depression of I left my family, I don't have my parents and my sister, I have no friends, I'm raising a family all by myself in a place that I don't know. And I went to college all these years, and I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur, and I'm supposed to make money, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm just a mom. So those things, while great, being just a mom is great, those things weighed on me because I knew I wanted more, I knew I was meant for more, and I knew I wanted to make money. But I also didn't want someone else to raise my children. I also didn't want to put them in daycare, and I wanted to stay at home with them. So I started thinking, how can I have my cake and eat it too? How can I stay home with my kids, but also make money at the same time? So I'm thinking, how can I have my cake and eat it too? How can I make money, yet also still stay home with my kids? And I said, I know the answer. My ticket to freedom is buying rental properties, but this time, no chickening out. So I told Blake, I was like, Blake, I know what we're going to do. We're going to buy rental properties, just like we were trying to do in California, but we're not going to chicken out this time. I got on the MLS and I said, look at all these freaking houses for sale. I said, there's houses that are $10,000 here. I said, we're going to be rich. We're going to buy them all up. Now, that's a story for another time because I didn't want any of those $10,000 houses. But it did open our eyes. And he said, I love your idea. I'm on board. I support you. But Casey, we just bought our first home and it's a fixer. And we don't have money for a rental house. And I was just, distraught. I was like, well, great. Here's my setback. I'm ready to go full force. I want my cake. I want to eat it. I know what I need to do, but I have no money. Right? And that's one of the number one things I get on my Instagram is, I don't have any money. How do I start in real estate? And I say, go find some money. Like, go find some money. Go make more money. Do something. Stop saying I don't have money. Go figure it out. So that's what I did. I said, all right, well, I will figure out how to make money. So I said, well, I don't want to be a real estate agent anymore because I really hated driving around showing people properties. And I didn't want to go get a job. I didn't want to go work at Starbucks or Target. I used to do public relations, but I did not want to go do freelancing. I just wanted something fun and easy. Remember, I have like 2 tiny little kids at home. Something fun and easy that would make me money. Something I enjoyed. Because remember, I was also a little bit depressed, postpartum and just being all alone with no friends and family. So I said, what girl doesn't like crafts? I love crafts. I'm not very artistic, but I'm sure that there's something that I can make or fix up and resell for a profit. So without any experience or any knowledge, I decided that I was going to open an Etsy shop. And I did. And in about 1.5 years, I had saved up $20,000, which I used as our down payment for our very first rental property. I would take you guys, and you guys can still do this today, okay? I went to the Dollar Tree, and for example, on Easter, I went to the Dollar Tree and I would pick up 56-inch bunny rabbits, little plushy bunny rabbits, and I would get my Cricut machine, which is a vinyl die cutting machine. You guys know, you've probably seen like bachelorette shirts or tumblers, with, vinyl on them. So I had a vinyl cutter, and I would get glitter vinyl and put kids' names on the bellies of the bunnies and their little year on their foot. And I would sell those for $5 to $7. They cost me $1, $1.10 or whatever, and I would sell them for $5 to $7. So that was my cheapest selling thing, and it was hot. I sold a lot of those. And then I started selling other holiday sort of knickknacks and also stuff for bridal showers and bachelorette parties, Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. So I would think about what I wanted to make. I would go find the blank, and then I would make the item, and I would sell it on Etsy and also Facebook and do porch pickup. So I did all of that between my kids' naps and on the weekends and at night when Blake came home from work because he had to drive to work, and I stayed home all day with the kids. So it did take 1.5 years, but I found my money. I saved up $20K, and we bought our first rental property. The reason why we chose rental properties as our strategy to break free from the hive was because real estate is one of the safest investments that you can make, right? It's virtually low risk if you know what you're doing. It's easy to start off with. I did already have some experience being a real estate agent, so I knew how to run comps. I'll tell you the one thing I didn't have experience in was tenants, and that is a story for another podcast episode. My tenant horror stories are amazing. But the great thing about real estate and investing in long-term rental properties, not short-term or mid-term at least, but for sure long-term rental properties, is the stability of income. I knew that with a minimal investment, putting our 20 to 25% down, it used to be 20% down, now it's 25. I knew that I would get a steady rent check in the mail every single month. And I knew that my asset, my property, would also grow in value over time. And if I just left my property alone, and I made sure that it was maintained, and maybe every so many years an upgrade here or there, I would end up having a property worth double, triple, and quadruple, and whatever 5 times is by the time that I retired. And that is the philosophy that we live by, and that is our strategy. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be, doing the Burr method or buying 10 properties in a month, or, you hear so many social media unicorn stories. It's very discouraging for so many people to get started and find their path to financial freedom because people just want to talk about how fast they did it and how easy it was, when in reality, it's not like that. It's not. It's a load of crap, I tell you. But you can get rich. Okay, it's not get rich quick, real estate, but it is a get rich slow, and it is a get rich for sure. And I am not a big risk taker. I don't want to leverage all my money. I don't want to have loans out my ears. I just want to buy one perfect property that I know will cash flow, that I know will appreciate it, and that I know I can get good tenants to take care of my asset, and it will grow over time. It's like set it and forget it, then save up, buy another one, set it and forget it, save up, buy another one, set it and forget it. And the more properties you have putting money into your bank account every single month, the faster your bank account grows. So the faster you're able to resave for that $20,000 or $30,000 that you need for a down payment on your next property. We're able to save a lot of money now because of the 8 rentals that we do have. We bring in $144,000 a year in rental income. So every month we're getting about $12,000 in our bank account. So yes, some of that goes to mortgages, but we have not refinanced any properties. And a lot of them, some we bought for like $68,000, $72,000, and we've had them for 7 years. So they're almost already paid off, or have super low balances, which is like, why wouldn't you just pay it off? And that's another conversation as well. I tell my husband, no, we're not paying them off, but we totally could, and we could gain all of that $144K in our pockets every single year. And that's just so satisfying to know. There are a lot of perks for choosing long-term rentals as your investment strategy to break free from these societal norms and the drowning that we all feel like we're in, the rat race. Long-term rentals is an easy ticket out. It's an easy ticket out. If you want to know what the secrets are for getting rich with real estate and why most people choose it, I do have a free ebook. I'll put a link in the show notes. My first time saying show notes. And it'll say something like 7 secrets to real estate. Download that ebook. Go get that now while you don't forget about it, before you forget about it. It is one of my top most requested quote freebie or lead magnet downloads. More people have downloaded that 7 Secrets ebook than anything else. So go grab that now, and it will tell you all the tax advantages and all sorts of reasons why long-term rentals is the clear answer if you're looking for financial freedom. So since we have broken free from the hive, since we have this, I won't say newfound financial freedom, but over years, we're like, whoa, we're at a different level now from a lot of our friends in terms of net worth and wealth and income and freedom. We start looking around and saying, well, what other things can we break free from? If we've been lied to by society, by who our whole lives about how we need to work an 8 to 5, we need to pay into the system so that we can retire at 67 or 70 now is what they're proposing to live an average of 18 months. Did you know that? Fun fact, people live on average 18 months after retirement before they die. That is not why I go to work. This is not why I live my life. I do not live my life to work every single day until I'm however old, 70, to just live 18 months and have 18 months of freedom. If that doesn't make you want to throw up, I don't know what does. So we have to get you guys out of this race. I am on a mission to help moms and dads, families, anyone that will listen, any young person or old person. It is not too late. You can break free from this hive and you can find yourself a life of financial freedom. You don't have to be a slave, okay? Now that we've broken free and we have financial freedom, my husband loves his job as he works with his best friend, his two best friends, but he could quit tomorrow if he feels like it. We will be just fine. So now I go, well, what other things do I want to break free from? And the next thing up on my list is breaking free from the school system. That may be a whole other episode as well, but my kids already know this, and here's me putting it out loud, but we're probably going to be homeschooling next year, and this is the last year they'll be in public school. There are a lot of things we can all do to break free from these societal norms that we are told are best for us. But guess who knows what's best for us? We do, you do, I do, not the government, not anybody else, okay? We know what's best for us and for our family. And money is the thing that keeps us from being able to live life the way that we're supposed to. So how do we get around that? How do we break free from this? We just need to make more money. But we need to make more money in a way that does not require us to trade our time for dollars. And we can get that and do that safely without risking your family's financial future. You can do that through investing in rental properties. Long-term rental properties, in my opinion, is the safest way. It's not the fastest way, but it's the most secure way, and it's pretty much virtually guaranteed. You will be rich. You will be a millionaire. You will be successful if you invest in rental properties. All it takes is one per year. All it takes is one at a time. You take the same knowledge you learned from property one and you repeat over and over again until financial freedom. Another thing that we're wanting to break free from, besides just financial and besides the school system, is also the food system. We need to all be eating more organic and more healthy. And I will tell you, organic is OMG expensive. I went to Whole Foods a couple months ago and looked at the organic meat section, and I said, never mind. I mean, it was like $20 a pound for steak. And I said, okay, well, there's 5 of us, so it's going to be $100 for us to buy steak at the store. Might as well just go out to dinner for that price. So there are still things that I'm working on, things that I want to break free from so we can be totally independent and not have to rely on other people. Our motto at Brick by Brick Wealth is to get wealthy one brick at a time. And to do that, you need to take action. So your action item today is to get out a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. And you're going to write down these 2 things because we are going to get you on your path to freedom. We're breaking you free from the hive, and it starts today. The first thing I want you to write down is what you want to escape from. What is it that you want to escape from? The second thing is the one I want to know, and I wrote this down, the one road that if you travel down it, what road will that be that will guarantee your escape? So for me, we wanted to escape from the hive of being held down by having to make money to pay for things. We wanted financial freedom, to be able to have as much money as we wanted and not have to go work daily for it. We have reached our financial freedom goal and we are working towards other goals, but I want you to reach that financial freedom, and you can if you start taking some action. So take some action today and identify what it is you truly want to escape from. Once this podcast episode is over, think about what it is that you truly want to escape from. What is it? And what vehicle will get you there? Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. And before you go, I want to remind you, please hit subscribe on the Escape the Hive podcast for whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Please go follow me on Instagram at Brick by Brick Wealth, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brick by Brick Wealth, where you can also find the Escape the Hive podcast. And please share this podcast with your friends and your family so they too can learn to escape the hive. And what would be super cool is for my first podcast, if you would please go down and leave me a 5-star review. It will help me grow and it'll make me smile real big. See you on the next episode.